Good morning. Got the dog in the car, just dropped off my kid at school. And I'm thinking about happiness here, and I'm thinking about my friends who have a hard time with happiness and have a hard time finding their happiness. And, I'm starting a store this year. I'm really excited about it. And I had to do a buttload of work, a buttload of paperwork, buttload of roadblocks getting put up in my way, constant things coming up that just really make it more and more difficult to start a business, things that make it so it's really hard to get a leg up. And I really do believe that those roadblocks are put there to keep us from getting to this point. They don't want us to become self-employed, because the more of us that become self-employed, then the less slaves they have. That's the Illuminati. The rich people that run our whole country and our whole world, and own our politicians and have our politicians in their pockets. My politicians, maybe they're yours, maybe they're not. But the thing is, anyone can do it. I mean, I got a loan from the bank because I was able to build up my credit score. It wasn't the loan I wanted. It was a much smaller loan, but I built up my credit score. I've been working for less than a living wage, less than $15 an hour for years, and I'm sick of it. So I'm doing that because I realized I can do this. If other people can do it, then so can I. And a lot of people in America especially, but in the world in general too, a lot of people in America are just of this mentality that they can't do it. They're in this victim mentality. They think that they're a victim, and they want to be in that victim mentality. They don't admit to themselves that they want to be in that. And if I said that to their face, they'd get really mad and be like, "That's not true. You don't know what I've been through." We've all been through lots of awful, awful things. Okay. Now, I admit my parents didn't mess me up as bad as a lot of other people's parents messed them up. I get it. A lot of people's parents were bad, but what are you going to do about that at this point? Are you going to keep living in low income housing and working menial jobs, toiling in BS labor that doesn't make you enough money to even pay your bills? Or are you going to try to better yourself and better your life? A lot of these people in this victim mentality don't want to be told and refuse to acknowledge or accept that some of their problems might be their fault. Actually, a lot of your problems might be your fault, but let's just start with some. Some of your problems are your fault. Some of my problems are my fault. Everyone has problems that are their own fault. Okay. And most people don't want to admit that or accept it or look at that as a real thing at all. And they would rather have pity. They'd rather we pity them, and that they want us to give them free stuff. They want us to do the work for them. And if you put a little bit in front of them and say, well, here's how you do this, and here's how you get your business license, or here's how you start learning to be happy. How you learn to be happy? How you decide. You got to decide, I'm not going to be sad anymore. I'm not going to be depressed anymore. I'm going to figure out a way to be happy a lot more often. And you're not going to be happy every single day, every single minute of every single day. That's not going to happen. That's not the way it works. But you can be happy a lot more. There are some people who are sad 24/7. They cry 24/7. I've been there. And that was over some stupid crap about I didn't have a girlfriend, because these little shit heels back when I was in elementary and middle school made me think that life was all about having a girlfriend. And if I didn't have a girlfriend, I was worthless. Well, that's not true. Okay. If you don't have a spouse or a significant other or whatever, then you're not worthless. Every single human on earth has worth. On earth has worth. All of you have worth. There's worth to every being on this planet, even people who don't do anything, even people who just sit on their butt all day and collect government checks and get free stuff handed to them. They still have worth, but they just have to find it. They don't know what it is yet. I don't know what it is, but you still have it. You're still a person, a human being with the ability to do something. If people who lose their arms and legs can still freaking do things and make money and accomplish great things, then you have no excuse. That was something I told myself a long time ago. I have no excuse, because I was not beat down and molested as a child. I was not abused by my parents. I still have all my body parts. I still have my health. And if people who don't have those things can get where I want to be, they're already there. They're wealthy, they're happy, they figured enough out to where they can at least not be miserable every day, then I should be able to do that too. And I am. I did and I am. But it took a long time. The first step was admitting that a lot of my problems were my own fault, and admitting that I was my own worst enemy and I was the one blocking myself and stopping myself from finding happiness through excuses. Instead of coming up with excuses, we got to start coming up with solutions. But everybody else wants to just take the easy road. Just because it's easy doesn't mean it's right. We as a society have got to stop doing the easy thing just because it's easier. We've got to stop doing the wrong things because they're easier. Eating fast food is a great example. It's a great example of you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be healthy. But the mentality of these people is, well, I got to eat something. I got to eat something today. I want just one good meal today. Well, that's not a good meal, okay? That's fake food. That's garbage. And it's going to kill you very early on in life. Your life could be over 100 years, and yet you're going to let yourself die at 60 or 70 with this stupid mentality of, well, I want to live while I'm alive and eat some greasy, nasty food. Well, then that's your own fault that you're going to be unhealthy and in a lot of pain for the last 20 years of your life. You know, if you ate healthier food, I'm not saying be vegetarian like me. If you want to eat meat, eat unhormone infested, eat meat that doesn't have hormones in it. Okay. Eat meat that's fed organic food. You know, don't eat chickens that had huge tumors and say, that's just a fatty tumor. Yeah, no, that's why humans are getting these tumors, because they're eating these chickens that were fed these hormones to make them fatter, and they had tumors. So now you're eating the tumor and now you're getting the tumors. And then you're like, oh, why am I getting a cancerous tumor? The doctor said it was just a fatty tumor and it was safe. Oh, well, there's your first problem. You trusted the doctors. But, you know, I mean, if you want to be happy, then choose to be happy. Stop getting in your own way of your own happiness. There are people who just want to use their trauma as a reason why they can't be happy because it makes them feel good. They're vamping your energy when you say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. That makes them feel good. That's the only thing that makes them feel good, because it's someone giving them something that they didn't have to work for. And all they want is freebies, handouts, free money, free government money, free home, free opportunities. Come do all the paperwork for me so I can start a business. Come do all the paperwork so I can get my HUD housing. Oh, they're kicking me out of this house because I didn't have enough money to pay my rent. I don't know what to do. Oh, pay my rent for me. They don't want to go get a job. They don't want to go do paperwork on their own to try to get free. They don't even want, half of them don't even want to do the paperwork to get free money themselves, which I don't support government assistance. But hey, I'm not judging you for being on it if you're on it. I'm just saying, get your life together. Find happiness. Don't sit here and make it out to be it's all other people's fault that you're not happy. These external things are what is holding you back. No, it's you holding yourself back. If you're not happy, if you're not successful, then you're holding yourself back. If I fail in this endeavor that I'm starting in, I'm going to try another one. I'm not going to say, it just didn't work and I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do that stuff. If I fail at this one, I'm going to try something else until it does work. I spent too long throughout my life being in victim mentality, blaming other people for my problems, blaming the Illuminati for my problems, blaming my parents who really didn't have that much to do with it, at least not my childhood problems. Some of them, maybe a little bit. You know, we all have childhood trauma. We all have generational trauma from our parents and our grandparents. But I mean, in all reality, we have to overcome that. You know, we have to overcome the trauma. We have to overcome the pain and the hurt, because it's not going to just disappear. And I am a true believer that prayer, to asking for your God's help, doesn't work. But if you think it does, that's okay. But the Bible says God only helps those who help themselves, doesn't it? God only helps those who help themselves. So if you're just sitting on your butt all day praying for something to get better and not doing anything to make it better and saying, oh, woe is me, then what point does God have to do to make it better for you? Okay. Or your higher powers, or whatever it may be. Now, if you watch my other videos, then you know that I'm on a different wavelength than that. I worship Mother Earth, but I don't expect her to give me anything. I expect her love and compassion, which is what she gives. And she's given me lots of guidance with her plant medicine. But, you know, I mean, it's not up to her to fix my life. It's up to me. And that's what I had to do. And I was broke. I'm still broke. But when I start my store, I'm not going to be broke anymore. I'm going to manifest more good things to keep happening, because in order to manifest these things in my life, I had to be able to get out of victim mentality. I had to be able to start having compassion and love for myself. And it's hard. It's hard. But the first step is to acknowledge that you are definitely causing some of your woes and misfortunes, and decide, I'm not going to be sad anymore. I'm going to be successful and happy. And then find a way to make that work instead of coming up with excuses why it won't. And, I constantly hear people's excuses all day long, and then they want to yell at me and say, those aren't excuses, they're facts. No, they're excuses. Any reason that you give why you can't do something is just an excuse. If you come up with a solution to those problems, then you're creating solutions instead of excuses. It's just my 2 cents in 11 and a half minutes. Well, thanks for watching. Subscribe, watch some more of my videos if you want to. If you hate me, give it a thumbs down, whatever. You don't have to accept it. Blessings and love to you, though.